Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a un nuevo episodio de Telco Talent, un podcast de Optare Solutions. Hoy entrevistamos a Marta Wojciechowska, CEO de Fiberhost, compañía polaca de fibra wholesale. Con ella hablamos sobre el modelo Open Access y el proceso de despliegue de fibra en Polonia. Soy Manu Ojea y empezamos, aquí en Telco Talent. Hello everyone, we're back and we have here with us Marta Wojciechowska, CEO of Fiberhost. Thank you so much, Marta, for joining us. It's a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today.
We're going to be talking a lot today about wholesale FTTH, Fiberhost, and the Polish market as a whole. But before we dive in, Marta, and sort of to break the ice, could you tell us a bit about your professional background and how your journey led you to your current role as the CEO of Fiberhost?
Well, my path to becoming a CEO has definitely been unconventional, I could say. I'm a qualified attorney. I actually pursued 2 degrees, European studies and law. And then after completing my legal training and being admitted to the bar, I began my career in law firms, in bigger law firms. And happily for me, my mentors and superiors from when I started in the law firms, they recognized quite early my leadership and organizational skills. And I was quite soon given the opportunity to build and lead a team of a given practice, as I was ahead of the pharmaceutical law practice when I was working in the law firms. And it was fun, but after several years in this private practice and advising multiple companies at once, I realized I wanted to commit to one organization long term. So that, I can really have a feeling of the business as such. So I made the move. I started as an in-house in a telecom company. And it was 15 years ago. I started as a lawyer. And then after some time, I was appointed director of the legal departments. And over the years in the group, I've had a chance to lead many impactful projects, including 2 major investment transitions. So quite an interesting journey. And eventually I was invited to join the management board. And for the past 4 years, I've been serving as CEO of Fiberhost. So today I lead Fiberhost, a company that builds and operates open access fiber optic networks across Poland. We currently reach nearly 1.4 million households within our network, and we are recognized as one of the most efficient players in the Polish market. So quite a journey here, from a lawyer to CEO of a telco company.
Yeah, very extensive and very fruitful experience. Now, our listeners are now more acquainted to you. Let's continue talking a bit about Fiberhost, the company. For those listening who may not be all that familiar with the open access wholesale model that you have, could you explain a bit about what it implies and why it's particularly relevant in the European context?
So in 2017, we as Fiberhost made a bold move because we adopted this open access model, and we were actually the first in Poland to do so. And it's important to emphasize that it wasn't something we were required to do by the regulations, but it was a conscious and strategic decision. We chose to open up all our networks at Fiberhost, which was before not so common or non-existent. And I must tell you that for me personally, this connectivity has never been just about cables or technology. It's about something much deeper, because it's like opportunity, inclusion, and freedom. And I really do believe that today we are helping shape a world where no one is left behind, because there is a lot of possibilities connected to what we are doing and serving fast and stable, reliable internet. And this is not just a business model, that's our responsibility and the responsibility that we've taken on. So why open access? There are so many reasons why this open access is the only way forward, I believe. So first of all, sustainability, because it reduces the environmental impact. We are avoiding redundant infrastructure. Second, of course, economics, because it's more efficient and cost effective for everyone involved. No one, needs to invest in the same, let's say, FTTH in the same place. And last, but of course not least, user benefits. So our customers and user, because it gives people real choice, better offers, and fosters true competitions. We all often say that, no one builds two identical highways side by side, and the same goes for fiber networks. These are the, digital highways of our time, and they should be open, they should be shared and accessible to all. That's why I really believe that open access is a key for the future.
We are seeing how Poland is experiencing a big rollout in fiber infrastructure. You would say, I think, from your last words, it wouldn't be possible with any other model than the one you are defending, right?
Yes, I agree, definitely. I can give you some numbers about Poland. So there are around 15.4 million households in Poland, and about 70% of them, so roughly 11 million, are within the reach of fiber networks, and only 40% of those who are within the reach are actively using fiber services. So these two numbers I just gave you reveal, I can say, two major challenges, but at the same two opportunities. Because first, around 4.5 million households still don't have access to fiber. And we need to be honest about this. The remaining areas to be connected are the most difficult ones.
Right.
Those are rural regions, far from existing infrastructure, very, dispersed. And building networks on these areas is extremely costly. And, without proper support from the ecosystem, it simply won't happen. So this is first challenge and first, of course, opportunity. But second, which is more visible for me right now, and astonishing, because only 40% of those with access are actually using it. So increasing take-up is one of our biggest challenges today. In urban areas, it's of course easier, but in rural communities, this digital exclusion, I would say, is often a choice, conscious choice. So we are working really hard to change that through education, training, and outreach. But still, there are people in Poland who genuinely believe they don't need fast internet. So why open access? To answer those two challenges or opportunities, as you can say. First of all, as we have very difficult areas to build, there will not be, many investments. So we need one open access network. And second, we have a lot to do to encourage people to start using internet. And I think that if we are doing this together, it will be easier.
Right. So you're mentioning these couple challenges that come with the fiber rollout. How do we go about them? Let's expand a bit on that to make them, as you say, opportunities, which is obviously the counter side of it.
Yes, we are, as I said, we have two main challenges. First challenge is the investment process, and for this, for sure, we need to have some support, and we do have support from European Union. And the second, with the take up, increasing the take up and increasing the awareness of people, I say that it's always about education, and we need to show people why this is important and how they can profit from fast and reliable internet.
And if we continue to look a bit into the future, Marta, what are some of the emerging trends in fiber and digital infrastructure that you and Fiberhost as a whole are keeping an eye on?
So, as we already discussed, Poland has come a long way in this development of fiber to the home infrastructure. And as I mentioned, much of this progress has been driven by EU-funded projects. And also, I can say, ambitious expansion strategies of operators such as Fiberhost or Orange, Nexera, but also numerous local ISP. Also, what I already mentioned, one of the most remarkable shifts is this adoption of the open access model. So at first, at this 2017, what was, a bold move, and then a move made by a few pioneers, this is now becoming the industry standard. And not only the major players are embracing it, but even small or mid-sized ISPs are transitioning to this model. So they see that this is really the future. On the technology front, what we are seeing is a gradual transition from GPON to XGS-PON. So we are starting to think of offering symmetric 10 gigabits speeds. Of course, especially in cities for business clients. But I can say that this rollout is still slow, and mainly because most end user devices don't yet support speeds above 1 gig. But that's changing, and we expect the pace to pick up significantly in the coming years as for the speed. Cybersecurity, this is another critical area. And with the threats growing and customer expectations rising just as fast as the threats, IT security has become really a key competitive factor in our business, and of course a costly one, I can say. And that's why more and more operators are turning into AI-powered cyber defense, which is also costly as of now. And in Poland, we are facing upcoming changes to our national cybersecurity system. So Polish operators are preparing for even greater responsibilities and also greater expenses. On the regulatory side, operators continue to face challenges because we have increasing reporting obligations, difficulties with price indexation, raising operational costs due to energy and labor. Still the Polish regulator is starting to take some steps to simplify the procedures and help us with those challenges, which is really a positive sign. So a lot to digest, and I would say that in this landscape, let's say we are in, so shaped by regulation, by security, and by rapid technology evolution, the keyword cost optimization. This will be a top priority for telcos in the years ahead. But I was already mentioning that challenge or opportunity. So as Albert Einstein said, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. So I think that we are navigating this complex environment, but we are also looking forward for the future and for what we can, how we can shape this world in next few years.
Right. You mentioned support from the EU previously, also some changes in the regulation in Poland. To what extent, let's dive in a little deep there. To what extent do these changes in this evolution will define the pace or the development in the coming years for the Polish market in telco?
Well, I must say that the pace will slow down. That's definite. Because as I mentioned, there is 4.5 million households to be covered by fiber, and those are the most difficult ones. So even with the help of EU, it will be difficult as the cost of build are huge, and not only of the build, because this is the let's say smaller problem, but there is also the second part, so maintenance of this network, and this is often forgotten by the regulator, by the legislator, that they are offering the money to build, but the whole the whole thing is about maintaining this network in the years to come, so that it's capable to serve the people. And that's why it is important for the second factor, so take up penetration of the network. So if people start using this network, it will be easier to maintain it. So we need to combine both challenges and make them opportunities, of course.
Right. It's new challenges. It looks like from what you describe, it's kind of a new step in the process of adoption. How is Fiberhost and maybe the Polish market as a whole preparing for that?
Well, definitely, we are, I can proudly say, a first in class in Poland, and we are prepared for years to come. Now we are focusing mostly on the take-up and on increasing the take-up on our network, the usage of our network. And as for the investments of the second part, we are focusing on the places where people are visibly needing internet. So on the one hand, we are densify our network, so we are building rather close to our networks, and in the places that we know that people will be more easily, let's say, encouraged to use the network.
Right. Well, Marta, we're now getting close to the end of the episode, but before we wrap up, we always like to ask our guests for some advice that listeners can take away and to apply to their futures. So, in this sense, we would like to know, based on your experience, what skills or attitudes do you think professionals should harvest in order to thrive in the telecom and fiber industry all over Europe over the next few years?
I've been thinking a lot lately about what makes this industry so unique, and whether you need some specific skills to thrive in it. And honestly, I don't believe there's a single key or mindset that guarantees success in a telecom other than in other industries.
Right.
And what I've learned this past 15 years in telco in industry, that to thrive here, you need to be hardworking, consistent, and open-minded. Those are, obvious, let's say, qualities. But I see on my example that these qualities naturally lead to continuous learning, to upskilling, and this willingness to challenge the status quo. And perhaps most importantly nowadays, it gives you this ability to navigate all those regulatory shifts, market disruptions, and this rapid technological change. And it also help you to manage this uncertainty, and helps you lead through transformation. And that's not something you can copy from a playbook, and it's something you grow into. I always said that step by step with every challenge you face. And having said this, whether it's a telco industry or any other, being a hardworking person with an open mind and consistency in all endeavors will surely guarantee your success.
Right. Well, that's great, Marta. We'll leave it with that piece of advice. And now we have reached the end of the episode. Marta Wojciechowska, CEO of Fiberhost, thank you so much for being here with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure for me.
And now, as always, it's time to thank each and every one of you who are listening to this and to all of our episodes. We encourage you to follow on our social media. You can find us on LinkedIn and X to stay updated with our latest news. You may also reach us at the address telcotalent@optaresolutions.com and also contacto inversión@optaresolutions.com for any questions regarding investing in Optare. And as I said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being there, and we'll see you the next time we connect.